How many actors can say they've been popular and relevant for over 3 decades? LeVar Burton can. This is Media Beat.
Look, things change.
Anyone with a camera and a computer
We're
is
now
good
so
at
we should
it.
pay attention to
the
where
user
they are.
value?
We evolve.
LeVar Burton, again, thank you for joining us. So we have to talk about your time in Hollywood, and arguably I know how I first came to know you, and that is from Roots.
Right.
What's your name?
Kunta Kinte.
When you were first reading the script for that, or your agent called you about this part, what were your thoughts about it then? Did you have any idea that it would go on?
I'm laughing because I didn't have an agent. You know, I was a student. I was studying theater at USC. I was a sophomore. Roots was my first audition. The business had exhausted all the normal means of finding professional talent. They'd seen every young black kid in LA who had an agent, and they were beating the bushes. They cast the net wider to drama schools at USC, UCLA, I think they called Cal Arts.
So when you first auditioned, did you think I'm just gonna go get this gig and then next month I'll do something else?
Yes, yes. My goal was to graduate with a BFA, a Bachelor of Fine Arts major in drama, and move to New York and work on Broadway. I had no aspersions toward television or film work at all. I was a theater baby.
My name is Toby.
I look at your credits, and I didn't see like 1 year where LeVar was not working, or LeVar did not do a movie or a TV show or something.
You need to look a little closer.
Okay, because it looks on IMDb like, wow, LeVar has steadily worked over the years.
I've been so blessed. I really have. I mean, you know, in the grand scheme of things, yeah. I have managed to stay relevant. I've managed to stay busy. I learned early on that the values, the foundation that I had as a self-starter, you know, that was a family value that was instilled in me, paid off well. I found early on in my acting career that I didn't do well just sitting around and waiting for the phone to ring for somebody to give me a job, you know. I've always been out there more proactive than anybody else on my own behalf, because I just know that you gotta make it happen. You know, nobody's going to make it happen for you. Between Roots and Star Trek and Reading Rainbow and Captain Planet and some others, I've just really, I've been gifted with the opportunity to be a part of entertainment vehicles that bring a little something more, you know, to the audience.
And you're currently starring on TNT's Perception,
Yeah.
and you make guest appearances, Community,
Right.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
How do you make the decision about which projects to get involved in at this point in your career?
You know, you would be surprised. For me, it's not like I am making the decision. It doesn't really feel like that. It just really feels like what the universe brings to me. I'm really being calculated about what I'm doing here. Not really. I don't pretend to be in control of what's happening.
20 years ago on Star Trek Next Generation, the characters were using pads,
Right.
which look like today's iPads.
Sure.
How cool is it for you to see what you were doing back in the early 90s really come to fruition now? At the time, did you guys think, wow, this is the future, or just this is some crazy show?
As a fan of science fiction, I'm not surprised, because I recognize that science fiction literature tends to ask us what I believe to be are two of the most powerful words in language in combination, those words being what if. And so when you contemplate the what if, it really opens up the imagination to engage with whatever you want to call it, inspiration, and the Latin root of inspiration is inspire, to breathe in, right? That's where inspiration comes from, and through the breath you connect with the divine energy. That's how it works. I believe that there was some kid who watched those original episodes of Star Trek, the original series, kept seeing Captain Kirk reach back and pull out his communicator, flip it open, call Scotty, say, beam me up, right? That kid grew up, became an engineer, a designer of product, and is responsible for a piece of technology in the flip cell phone that's more prevalent now than toasters, right? You look at Bluetooth ear devices, Star Trek. You look at flip cell phones, Star Trek. Devices, seeing devices for the blind, inspired by Geordie's visor. Science fiction, literature, and pop culture really is a main conduit for how we invent our future reality. Time is speeded up to the point where we're living in the future now. And it's no accident.
Well, LeVar, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you. And an honor, really. We could go on and on and on. So much continued success with the Reading Rainbow app, which is out in the iTunes App Store now.
It is.
And Perception is on TNT.
TNT. Kunta's back on TV.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Well, more fish for Kunta.
More fish for Kunta.
More fish for
Ah.